So, I have received a comment of someone that was asking for help, and he said that his mind keeps running and running for weeks and months, and he assumes that he has ADHD, and he has this feeling that he wants to jump out of his skin because there is a great amount of discomfort. And he was asking for help. Now, I can totally relate with this problem because when I was going to school, the teachers told me that I have ADD, which is another form of ADHD. Nowadays it's called inattentive ADHD. And when I was meditating and trying to find an answer to how I can stop my neurotic behavior, then this search for an answer was just fueling this search, and therefore it was fueling the neurotic behavior. Now, the easiest way for such people who have neurotic behavior and who are interested in meditation in the first place because they have neurotic behavior, ADHD, ADD, or autism, or just a seemingly uncontrollable mind, then you cannot really listen to people who will tell you that there is no method, although I'm also such a person. Because in the essence, true meditation requires no method. But as Osho has said, it is true that meditation requires no method, but you need a method to get it. So, it doesn't matter if you have ADHD. Fact is that you know that your mind is overactive, so you need a method. And the easiest method for me is to just put your attention on something that is neutral and seemingly constant. For example, 8 hours of meditation music, calm sounds. And then you're simply gonna put your attention onto the sound. And as you are aware of the sound in that moment, your mind is becoming a little bit more quiet. But there will be a sense of danger. Because the mind, although it suffers itself, it is suffering because of its own stream of thinking, it actually does not want to leave the suffering because it is its sense of self, it is its identity, it is scared of dying. So when you are putting your awareness onto something still, for example meditation music or stillness itself, quietness, silence, what is going to happen is that something inside of you will rebel. If it doesn't happen, that's perfect. But there are a lot of people out there who have very neurotic behavior because they have a strong sense of self and a lot going on, and there's just this identification with me and my suffering. It's my ADHD. I have ADHD. It's my life and I'm suffering. It's horrible. And then you notice the thought, you see that you were identified, and you don't blame yourself for thinking, you simply put your attention back on the silence or the music. And you keep practicing this like a method. And what you will recognize is that the stream of thinking will slowly subside, and it's gonna feel more natural and more natural to simply be effortlessly attentive. Without having the sense of time running away from you. And as I'm silent right now, just notice if your mind is starting up again and asking a question like, will this dude finally get to the point? And as the thought arises, become conscious of it, knowing that you are not the thought, you're not the one that is thinking that thought, and simply become aware of something that is silent. And the ego will fight. And it's completely normal if you will feel some kind of tension. There will be a pull, an energy, a kind of power of the ego, and it will try to lure you back into identification because that's where it gets its self of safety. So that's why it feels dangerous when you're becoming aware of something that is silent and you're no longer thinking about yourself. You start to feel like panic, but just allow it. Trust me when I tell you that it is okay to simply become aware of silence. It doesn't mean that you are suppressing something. Because you don't have to suppress your thoughts, simply become aware of silence. Allow the thought to come in, become aware of it, recognize that it's not necessary to think right now, and do not follow the story that it is trying to tell you. Come back to the noise or the silence. Use your senses instead of your mind. And the sense of I will slowly disappear. And you will no longer identify with this I thought. And that's when you will understand that real meditation doesn't require a method. Because you do not need an external object to focus on in order to be the attention itself. So at first your neurotic behavior was fed by believing that you are the one that's suffering it, and you're following the thought streams, hoping to find an answer in these thoughts or in the search. And you're jumping to the realization that you are attention itself, and therefore these thoughts have to die, and it feels like dying. It feels like this sense of self that you were trying to protect your whole life is dying. So that's why I can totally understand your situation. A lot of people are attracted to meditation or awakening simply because they have ADHD. Because they are just so thirsty for a moment without thoughts. There's constantly tension in the brain because it's just so much channels that are open, and the brain is thinking about 6 thoughts at the same time. And you simply want to come to rest and have a sense of clarity, because you intuitively feel that if you would have this sense of clarity, you would be much more efficient in life. And also, there would be much more joy. So a lot of people are attracted to non-duality, awakening, enlightenment, meditation in the first place because they do have ADHD or a neurotic mind. And there is a trap, because a lot of people, including myself, are saying that no method is required. Now, some people are really serious about this. They say you shouldn't use a method. There is no method. It will just strengthen the sense of self that can choose something. So you shouldn't. And there is the trap. Because you feel left alone and lost because you shouldn't use a method. So you are here left with this neurotic brain. Now I say you should use a method if your brain behaves in a neurotic way, and once the neurotic behavior subside, it will be absolutely clear why they say that methods are not required. So simply bring your awareness back onto things that have nothing to do with your sense of self, who you think you are. And be there, stay there. If a thought comes in, see it, recognize that it's not important, and come back to the object that you're putting your attention on. Until the thoughts become weak, the identification becomes weak, and then you can take away your attention from the object and simply relax your attention. And then there's just effortless being. And in the end, the sense of being the watcher is also dissolving in this infinite nothingness. Then there is high alertness without someone being there. And I hope that this could help you. And if it did, make sure to give this video a like, leave a comment, and subscribe, and have a great day.